Welcome to a postseason edition of the Commissioner's Corner. That's right, folks. We've entered WCHA postseason time. Lots to talk about today with our special guest, Olivia Cvar from St. Cloud State University. Good morning, Olivia. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. It's hard to believe we're going to be talking postseason hockey. You know, for me, sometimes when the season starts, it's because it's such a long season, you almost feel like you can't see the end. And now that the end is almost here, it's crazy. I want to go back and start over again because it's been such an awesome season. So let's talk about the month of February for the Huskies. So we had some COVID postponements, which meant some COVID makeup games. Luckily for you all, many of the makeups were at least home games, but you played 9 games in 19 days in February so far. So what has that stretch been like for you and your teammates?
Yeah, it's been really, really busy, and it's good for time management. You learn a lot about yourself and what you're capable of. And it's just nice to grow as a team. Having those Tuesday games was really nice to make up because we ended up missing because of COVID. But yeah, it ended up being lots of fun. And you learn a lot more new things about yourself and what you can control.
How about physically? Was it more demanding? You know, were you physically more exhausted than you thought you would be, or was it actually more manageable than you thought it would be?
At the beginning, I would say it was a lot of like nervousness, you could say. But once you start to get into it, our trainer was really awesome and he did a lot of recovery with us. So that was very beneficial. But I feel like at the beginning, you just don't really know what to expect. So you're making yourself nervous. But as it went on, it turned out to be really good.
I have to imagine, hearing you speak about your trainer and recovery, that you learned even more about how to control your body and how to manage, you know, whether or not you're playing that many games in a, you know, and consecutively moving forward. I'm guessing you learned some new things about how to recover and have your body more prepared for the next weekend.
Yeah, most definitely. And just what your limits are. You know, if you've had too much someday and you have an optional off day, just, taking that time to yourself and going to the library or going to get a coffee, just really preparing yourself for those upcoming games.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not just physically taxing, right? It's mentally taxing. And on top of
Yeah,
that, you're all students. So sometimes we
exactly.
forget that there's also class and homework and things that factored into that crazy stretch. So it was fun from a distance to sort of see you all manage that, because there was some success built in to those
Yeah.
games, which was really nice. Speaking of success, you've been on a little bit of a tear in the second half, consistently scoring some highlight reel goals, finding yourself on the SportsCenter top 10 list after that goal in Bemidji. Like, I'm so curious, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, social media is blowing up because you're all over SportsCenter. What was that like?
Yeah. It was crazy. I remember I woke up and my roommate was Devin Millwater and she's like, "Oh my God, Liv, like you're on SportsCenter today." And I was like, "No way." So it was just such a surreal feeling. And all my teammates, all my friends and family from back home were so supportive. So it was just really nice to share that moment with everyone.
Yeah, it's so, I mean, for those of us from a league perspective, anytime our league members get some notoriety or some publicity like that, it's so great. And what's funny is, so your goal happened at Bemidji, and then Bemidji had a goal a couple weeks ago now that ended up on SportsCenter, and the announcers the first time were great. They got Bemidji right. And then I don't know if you saw it when Paige had her goal, they were like, Bemidji. It was so funny, and it just became a big joke, I guess. But long story short, I mean, to have that experience and to, you know, the success that comes with that has to be so you know, rewarding for you, and also give you some confidence, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. It's very rewarding and it just pushes you to try do that stuff every game, get out of your comfort zone. And it's just awesome to see.
So the regular season wrapped up last weekend and we're headed into the postseason, but let's just pause. Highlight of the season so far, highlight of the regular season for you so far.
Hmm. There's a couple, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Um, Probably the first one would be taking a point from Wisconsin. I think it's the first time in like 17 years that St. Cloud's ever done that. So as a team, like that game was awesome. We all worked so hard and we were really a unit. It was just so rewarding. Everyone was even though we lost in a shootout, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
it was just such a good feeling. And to be with the girls, it's just like a family.
I love it. What about the other one?
Um, hmm. I would say getting that shootout win against Duluth. It was a really hard game. It was back and forth. And, you think overtime, you're like, hey, we got it. And it's like, oh, we're going to a shootout. So it just kept going on and on. And it was awesome. The dressing room was so hyped up after, and to see smiles on everyone's faces was just such a good feeling.
I'm curious, do you prefer overtime or shootouts?
Ooh, I would say overtime. Shootouts, everyone's just focused on one person and it's kind of scary.
Do you like the 3-on-3 shootout? Or I'm sorry, the 3-on-3 overtime?
I do.
Yeah, more room to make
Lots of
plays.
space.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
space. It appears that way when you're watching too. I really enjoy it as well because I feel like our
Yeah,
playmakers have the ability to make
for
plays, which is
sure.
what makes it more exciting. So looking ahead to this weekend, the quarterfinals, first round of the playoffs for the WCHA, the Huskies will try to play spoiler a bit in Columbus, headed out to Columbus to play Ohio State, best 2 out of 3 series. How are you all preparing for this weekend?
We're getting some good practices in. We practiced yesterday and just focusing on our structure and what we need to do to prepare to play against Ohio. I know they're a very well balanced team and they're going to come out hard. So just getting our structure down, making sure we're going over power play, penalty kill, all the small details I feel like are going to be very beneficial for us this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, small details for sure. You know what to expect from them. They come out flying.
Yeah.
That's what they do. So if you can weather that first storm, then it comes down to the little things. It's a big weekend. How's the mindset? How's has your team kind of switched gears second season? Like, what's the
Yeah.
conversation like?
I feel like all season, this is kind of what you're working for is the end playoffs, trying to get to that second and third round. So everyone's really excited. Everyone's working hard in practice because we all know we got to compete this weekend. So it's just a really good feeling and it's a good environment right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I hope it carries through. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Olivia. So I'm curious, you're from Stonewall, Manitoba. How did you get to St. Cloud? What brought you to St. Cloud? Hockey, I
Um,
assume, but tell me a little bit about that process.
yeah, so I played hockey in Winnipeg, which is the bigger city in Manitoba, and just traveling a lot because there's not too much female hockey back home. So traveling a lot to the States and around Canada, and then just kind of getting exposed to schools and found my way here.
Good decision.
Very good decision.
Excellent. Tell me about your family, Olivia. How did you get into hockey? Are they big hockey players as well?
Yeah, my dad used to play hockey when he was younger, and my mom just loves to watch hockey. So my brother, I believe, joined first. He's older, and then
Okay.
my sister joined, and my dad's like, "Oh, it's time for your time." And at first, I didn't really want to because I was the girl on the Heelys ripping around the rink, just watching my siblings. But then they put me in, and I just ended up loving it.
How old were you when they put you in? Do you remember?
Ooh, I want to say I was in grade 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been
So
playing a
I
long
feel
time.
like that's like 6, 7.
Yeah, 6, 7. Yeah, 6, 7, 7, 8, something like that. Do your brother or sister still play?
They don't. My brother stopped playing, I think, 2 years ago. So just working, going to school now.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about like what life looks like maybe after college. What are you majoring in right now?
Elementary education.
Okay. Goals of being an elementary school teacher. Yes. I love this. Are you planning to go back to Canada, you think?
I'm debating on it right now. I do want to continue my hockey career and just see where it could take me, Europe, maybe stay in the States still, but
Mhm.
it's definitely up for discussion.
Lots to come. You've got plenty of time. So it's always
Yeah.
funny to start talking about what's next because what's next is Ohio State in a couple of days. That's what's next,
Yeah.
right? Excellent. Okay, so we're going to switch gears here and we're going to do a little get to know Olivia session where I'm going to ask you some quick questions and you can give me the first answer that pops in your head. Okay?
Sounds good.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sweater or hoodie?
Hoodie.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
I'm always so surprised when people say phone call. I feel like no one makes phone calls anymore. Are you talking phone call, or FaceTime phone call?
I'd say phone call, phone call.
Okay,
FaceTime sometimes is not the right moment.
got it. Okay, fair. Card game or board game?
Board game.
Do you have a favorite?
I'm a big fan of Monopoly.
Oh,
So I'd say Monopoly.
money. You like the money, Olivia. Starbucks or Caribou?
Starbucks.
That was easy for you. Oceans or mountains?
Mountains.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
I should have guessed. Elementary school teacher uses the pencil. When you go to the movies, are you a popcorn or candy person?
Popcorn.
Passenger or driver?
Passenger.
Do you not like to drive or you just prefer to ride along?
Yeah, I prefer to ride along, play the music, just stare out the window.
You're the DJ.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Dinner or dessert?
Dinner.
Road trip or plane trip?
Road trip.
And do you have a favorite road trip or a road trip you'd like to take?
Not really. I'm not a fan of flying. It's probably just road trip either way.
Just more comfortable in the car.
As long as it's not a plane.
Got it. Okay, got it. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Are you binging anything in particular right now?
We are currently watching Euphoria in our apartment. So it's an interesting show.
Okay, I'm writing it down. I'm always looking for new ones. Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Like the atmosphere. Okay, last one. What's one word you would use to describe yourself as a hockey player?
I would say powerful. I feel like there's a lot you can do with that. So yeah, powerful.
It covers lots of things. I like it. Powerful. Excellent. Powerful Olivia and her Husky teammates will be taking on Ohio State in Columbus this weekend in the quarterfinal rounds of the WCHA playoffs. All 8 teams are in action this weekend. Everyone's in quarterfinals. As a reminder, all of our quarterfinals are best 2 of 3 series. And so all of those games can be found live on B1G Plus, our official streaming partner. It's going to be a pretty exciting weekend of hockey. It always is this time of year. Then one other reminder for our viewers, the final face-off, our final 4 teams will play in the final face-off March 5th and 6th at Ritter Arena in Minneapolis. Tickets are on sale now. So here's your plug to go get some tickets and be there for the very best of women's college hockey the first weekend of March at Ritter. Olivia, good luck, safe travels. Take that power and go make some noise in Columbus.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Thanks.